Hi guys, so I'm gonna try this Crafter's Companion sub box out. Is number 32. I think I unboxed it the other day. It's the 3D folders and stencils craft kit. So I'll open it up. Obviously we'll go through what's in it. I get mine through HSN. It's an auto ship, so it's not something you can get in right now. They did open up the auto ship this last craft day and they closed it again. Sometimes Crafter's Companion has it. Sometimes it's on scrapbook.com. Sometimes you'll find them at Tuesday morning. I mean, just lots of different places you can find these. So if I have any links in the description box, there'll be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. But like I said, having said that, it may or may not be available in other spots quite yet. So when I had opened it up, I totally forgot about it actually. And this was only a few days ago that I showed it, but, oh, I think I want to do these guys. We'll see. They look like, poppies, but not poppies. What are they called? Black-eyed Susans. People have different names, but, those aren't the same flower. But what I'm trying to say is the flower that's in my mind for California poppies, ours are like orange. I'm talking about the one that's like red and like a deeper red. I don't know. Maybe it is a type of poppy. I don't know. So that's probably what I'm going to do today. So we have the 3D embossing folders and stencils. So let me open these up. I didn't open each one. And a lot of times I don't. I just open what I'm going to use, but we'll see. So this one has like a picture. And then it has a stencil. Ooh, that's a delicate little stencil. Look at that little piece right there for the picture. And then this one has like a gingham pattern. But of course you can mix and match these however you like. Well, this part is obviously just going to go to the picture. But I guess if you wanted to use the stencil, I don't know. I have some laundry going and I can hear it having a hard time. I like to overload my laundry machine almost every time. Okay, so, oh, this one's really nice with the butterflies. It is super thick because again, they're 3D embossing folders. Super thick, and these are the bigger guys. They look like they're 5x7 type, and then the pretty that laundry's got me, the butterfly stencil, and then this little tiny dot pattern. How cute. Sorry, my voice went way high. Okay, little dot pattern. This will be fun for other cards if I decide to not use it today, but that's a great background. And then this one is those flowers again. Ugh, I'm gonna say it all wrong, and then somebody or lots of everybody will leave me a message saying what kind of flowers they are. And you can read the comments before. That way I don't have a ton of comments tell me the same thing. But yeah, so really pretty flowers here. And I was thinking I really want to use this one. This is what I'm gonna do. Oh, good. Okay, I didn't know how the stencil. I thought the stencil was just gonna do the flowers, but it does also do the stem. So you can see there. And then this really nice kind of Moroccan tile background. Actually the tiles in my kitchen are almost like this. Mine are smoothed out on the side right here, but really pretty. We have some ribbon. Again, they're kind of ribbon I like. The organza, it's easier to make bows and make it look pretty on a card. And then we have some little clear bubbles, dewdrops. So we have gems. That's a pretty palette. And then we have thinking of you, thank you, and happy birthday. Card blanks, and I hope I don't forget to use these. I mentioned earlier I, for some reason, would make my own card blanks in sub kits, even though, hello, they come with a card blank. It looks like they have the 4x6, which they've been doing a lot of recently, the 5x7, and possibly a 6-inch square. Let me see, yeah, it's a 6-inch square. And then the envelopes to coordinate back with those. And let me put this down. So the papers, I don't remember if I went through each paper or if I just saw it and thought it was pretty, but of course this is pretty, the butterflies. And let's see what we got. So we have like a stripe, oh, little hearts. That looks very baby to me. It reminds me of like the colors of like the baby blankets whenever you have a baby out here in the US. A lot of times they have like that pink and that blue, but this is more of a minty color. Something about it just reminded me of that. Little flowers. So what's interesting with this kit is that if you do those stenciled backgrounds, it's already a really big piece of paper. I don't even know if I'm going to use this stuff. It depends on what you want to do, obviously. We have this little butterfly background, a really cute green kind of gingham. Again, it's really just dots, but it makes it look like a lattice pattern. And then that really pretty Moroccan tile look. I love that. It seems like there are less patterns. So a lot of times they do more patterns. I would say are there more sheets of each one? No, just a little bit thicker paper. and only, you know, 5 patterns or so. It's kind of interesting. And then the colored card, again, looks thinner or feels thinner already, so it's, you know, a little bit thicker than typing paper weight. I do like this color palette. They are kind of bright, kind of odd colors here, but I like the way they look together. So it's like a deeper and lighter tone of each of the colors, as you can see here. And again, they're including white, which is great. Okay, so, I was just thinking it's interesting that they have a white paper in here. This is a very thin kind of layering white paper, but I guess if you wanted to use this for the stencil, you could use it, you know? It's gonna get very stenciled. I'm gonna switch that out for another piece of paper, a different one. I'm gonna use this flower. I still want to say it's a poppy, I don't know why. Maybe there's different colored poppies, that's why, I don't know. Okay, this one, and then of course the stencil that goes with it. And I want to use the dots. I like the dots. So we'll use the dots. And please, however you stencil, whatever order, that's great. I do it the way I do it. And sometimes, not sometimes, almost every time I do a stencil project, people tell me I did them in the wrong order or this or that. It doesn't matter. Some stencils do come with order, like, okay, 1, 2, and 3. And then even within that, do what you like, whatever works for your project. Obviously with this one, I would do the flowers first. You know, we're gonna emboss them. We're gonna do a little stenciling, and then I'm gonna use this after that. But I do also want to use pigment ink, and I also want to put embossing powder on these. I don't know why, I like doing that a lot. So that's what we're gonna do. And hopefully we'll see what happens. It might get rid of some of the texture, it might not. I'm gonna use the super fine embossing powder from Ranger, which is the one I normally use. I'll show it to you in just a minute. So let me grab some colors. I'm going to use pigment inks, so those do have to be set, or at least wait a long time for them to dry, and even at that, sometimes they don't dry, so that's why you set them with like embossing powder. So let me grab some of those colors. Hopefully I have the colors I'm thinking of using, because I don't have a lot of pigment inks for that reason. They're kind of a pain. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just thinking about, I don't want to use my magic mushrooms with these pigment inks, just because I think Lisa doesn't recommend it because pigment, again, it's like, it's just different. And then I don't have a brown ink or a greenish ink. I guess I just picked out colors, you know, that I like for flowers and things, so which you think I have a green, but I don't. So that's fine. On that part, I'm just gonna use a green, just regular ink. We'll put that to the side. I have a piece of Crafter's Companion, like thick stamping card here, and it's cut at 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, so it's just a little bit smaller than 5 by 7. And then maybe I'll trim it down from there too, I don't know. I don't have a side that I care about, you know, it doesn't matter if it goes down or up in this piece of paper because it's the same on both sides. But if you want it to be a certain way, make sure the words Gemini are in the back, like your paper's facing up, the side that you want to be showing, because it pushes it up into there. And I think their regular embossing folders is the other way around, like you want to see the name on top for some reason. But anyway, so here we go. And I was even thinking cutting these into panels, which is always a good look. I think that's pretty, but I am moving this quite a bit over though, because I can feel that there's a flower just at the edge here, and this one still has some space, so I'm just gonna put it where I think it would be best for my paper since I cut it down a little bit. And since this is a 3D folder, oh, I left my Gemini on from basically this morning. It doesn't need too much. I know I've seen Craig use like the magnetic sheet and the plastic shim, or just this guy. I'm gonna go with magnetic sheet and plastic shim because I put that thick paper in there too, so that's already giving us some extra thickness. We'll see. If it doesn't work out, then I'll do something different. It's taking it. A lot of times when I do the two cutting mats or cutting plates, it's like, it doesn't want to go. And then it'll finally go, so let's see. Oh, that's plenty deep. Yeah, I don't need to go any deeper. So I always, with any cutting machine, I always like to use the thinnest sandwich possible that will get the job done, because you don't want to go in too deep or too thick and then, you know, have some accidents. But look at that. My gosh, look at that. That is really nice. I mean, I have tons of their 3D embossing folders, but this is exceptional. Look how pretty. Oh, love it. So now I'm kind of scared of doing my embossing powder like I like to do with stencils, but we're gonna try it. You never know. It might be a big mess and it might be okay. All right, so we did that. So now I do have pixie spray, and I mention it every time and I don't use it, but I'm still not gonna use it. So I'm just gonna put this here, and I'm gonna put this on here. Let me make sure what's going on there. It looks really dark gray there. Okay, so we're gonna put this on here and just line it up with my pretty little flowers. Pretty easy to do. Again, I did mess with it a little bit because I cut my paper a little bit smaller than 5x7. And I'm just gonna tape it. I just wanna make sure that this is right on there. It's not the biggest deal, but you know, I can see that this is a little bit this way. There we go. Trying to catch a little bit of the paper if I can, just so the paper doesn't move. Okay, now I'm gonna start with the grasshopper, because if it takes a while to dry by the time I put the embossing powder, if the embossing powder sticks to that, actually that's great too, but I'm not really looking for that to happen. Where did I put my little, hold on. Tell you guys I'm moving things around, and then I take a while to find these. Okay, I am just going to grab a new one because that green looks like it was contaminated. I'm gonna use finger daubers this time because I have tons of them, and why not? So I'll start with grasshopper. Actually, if I wanted the embossing powder to still stick to this, I would end with grasshopper because it would still be the most wet, right, by the time you got there, when you go to put your embossing powder. And I'm doing it messy because that's what I like to do with stenciling. So some's darker and some's a little bit lighter, however. Something like that, just a little color. Okay. Now, it looks like I have a burgundy-ish one right here. Is it dirty? That'll be fine. So I have Bordeaux, which I guess is darker than the Chinese red. I have no idea. Whenever I see these in the Crafter's Companion lineup, it seems like that one's there as the deepest red, but you know, maybe it's a purple color. Who knows? So I'm gonna, oh, I've never used this one. I have like 2 fuchsias in the pigment for some reason. So we're getting Chinese red pigment. And, oh, that's right. Huh. Okay. I'm just gonna start with the red around here. I was just thinking I wanted to use a dark brown in the center. I don't know that's gonna work because again I don't have a brown pigment. And for whatever reason I'm starting with this one. If you want to start with the darker color, which would be the Bordeaux, I would do that in the center. But you know what? I guess that will be the one that will be my pigment. Again, I'm still not doing it too thick. Oh, I missed a green stem down here. Let me see if there's still enough green on here. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then Bordeaux, which I've never used either. Again, I hardly ever use these pigment inks. And I'm gonna dip in here and start in that center. I don't know that that's gonna look that great. Or like if it's gonna be noticeable is what I'm trying to say. It's very, I'm trying to push in that center because it has very tiny dots. So I'm trying to push in there really well. Okay, moment of truth. I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know about this one. All right, here we go. Hold on, let me get the embossing powder. So this is the one I like to use, Clear Super Fine Detail, because it's just more milled, like a little finer than other things. That is not my favorite. Like this flower up here. Okay. Like this center didn't even get anything on it. Okay, what we're gonna do real quick before I go to move on. Or you know what, it'll be okay. Let's just do that. I'll come back in a minute and do something else. But it doesn't have to be done right now, so. The other flowers look so pretty. That one just looks like a little round and weird. I don't know why. Okay. Come on. I'm just trying to get the powder. I know it's going to hit that last one. That's why I didn't take time to hit that last one. Okay. And you can kind of see where the powder just ends up being where you don't want it. Again, I didn't run Embossing Buddy on this, but it's okay. It looks like it stuck to that ink anyway. I can see that, the green ink, so. Okay. All right, I'm gonna hit this with my heat tool. And it might just be not what I was going for, but that's okay. Let's see. So once it turns and you can see that it's shiny, move on to the next area. You don't want to just keep it there. There we go. I need the high. See how it's turning bright? Just move on. Okay, and I'm gonna do all of them and I will be right back. Okay guys, actually that came out better than I thought and it still has that texture and everything. Love it. Okay, so I was getting scared. I know sometimes people leave me a message or a comment, they'll be like, oh, you were scaring me. I was like, if I was scaring you, then guaranteed I was scaring myself, just so you guys know. A lot of times, I don't know where I'm going with these things. Like this, I had a different idea and I was like, oh yeah, and I'll put brown in the center, like a nice dark, like a Black-Eyed Susan. And it just wasn't gonna work out, so that's fine. There's powder all over here. I don't know what's going on with me recently. I don't like the feel of powder, apparently. Like yesterday with the glitter with the mink. It just gave me like a visceral reaction I've never really noticed before. Okay, so let's put those away. And now if I want to, I'm just gonna use any old color, but I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this, so I want to use the dots, which I put somewhere over there. And oh, that's so pretty. And the reason I did that is because when I put the dots, if I want to just go over it, the ink won't stick to the part that is covered by the embossing powder. So that's just one way of avoiding that, you know, problem. Oh, I did want to go over these little dots and see if I can put some brown in there. So let me just grab a regular brown. Fryer brown, where are you? There you are. I always get fryer brown, don't I? Okay, so I'm just going to use a little bit of that. And I'm not pushing it in there. I'm just going to lay it over the top very lightly to catch those little things that are sticking up there. Do you see that? So now, just a little bit. These kind of did it anyway before. But again, I was trying to push down as hard as I could, and some of them weren't really receiving it, so that's fine. It's just that they're so tiny, those little spots. Look at this. In the stencil, I mean, you had to push really hard to get the ink to go through those tiny, tiny, tiny little spots, and I didn't do that, so. Okay. We can go browner, but that's okay. That's enough. All right. What color do I want to put? Should we do like orange? Blue? Oh, goodness. I don't know. Do they have something on the box? Sometimes I like to take some... Not really. Okay, let's do orange. And I'm gonna do this bright orange. And again, you can do different colors actually. If you want to do like yellow and then go into orange or however you want. Oh, should we tape this? Let's tape it, just in case. I'm gonna tape away from the little dots as far as I can, just so that I get as many dots. If you tape like in here, you're gonna cover up some dots, and we don't want to do that. Down here I have plenty of room. All right. Ugh, I should have put down something to keep the orange from getting on my mat, because it will definitely get on my mat. You know, these are interesting. I don't know if the stencils are deep, like thicker. It's not that easy to get the color pushed in here. So as you see what I'm doing, okay, let's say you didn't want to use embossing powder. So when you come in, you can see what you're doing because you can see your flowers. So you know, just stay away from them, right? Kind of get in between like this. I'm still doing that somewhat, but I really don't have to because that embossing powder is there to help me from putting color where I don't want it. Okay, so I'm gonna do whatever I like. Again, you would just kind of go around. The stems have a little bit of embossing powder, but not that much, so I would be more careful there. I probably should have still used the finger dauber. The stems did hold on to some of the powder, which is interesting. Because it's supposed to be a fast dry ink, right? Let me see what's going on here. That's probably good enough. Let me do a little more around the edges. Try to get these edges a little bit darker. Alright, let's see what we got. Aww, that's sweet. I could have gone, again, just all over everything. I did kind of leave some off, and look at that. Cute. Okay, let me think of how I want to finish this off to make a card. I don't really work with 5x7 for a reason, but I will be right back. I'm just all over the place now. So I cut a piece of the paper from the kit. This is the darker orange. Remember how they came with lighter and darker of pretty much every shade? And I cut it down. I would cut a little bit more off of this, but you know, it's already at the edge of the flowers, so I'm just going to leave it. So this, again, like I said, I cut it 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So this is 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. So it's just a little bit smaller, an 1/8 inch smaller, you know, around from the full size. And then I'm going to grab a card blank from the kit here. I hope this is like legit 5x7 and not just like a little bit off, or because, you know, then this is not going to show up that great. Oh my gosh. Woo! It's the smallest amount. Okay, I am going to use this glue because that is too dangerous for me to not use a glue that doesn't move. So again, I cut the paper down, you know, using a guillotine, which is fraying, and you guys have given me the tip to tighten the bolt. I have done that with both of my guillotines, and it has not made a difference. So I don't think that's the problem. It's a bummer. Okay, so we have this guy. And I'm just sticking this down. I mean, not doing anything out of the ordinary. It's just a basic kind of note card. That's what I always feel like whenever I do something like this, where it's like this big thing, I call it a note card. You know what? Maybe we should pop this up just to give it a little something. So let's put some foam on that. And that's pretty big. So I'm going to use foam roll. This particular foam roll came from like an old kit, Crafter's Companion. Ooh, there's ink sitting there, isn't there? So, from one of their shaker card kits, so it's really wide, and I don't know that they sell it like on their site. I usually use a thinner foam roll for my shaker cards. I think that's good enough. I think, well, okay, fine, we'll put a third one down the center. I was going to put 2 on top and bottom, but it's okay. Okay, let's get this going. And if the sentiment, so again, I cut that paper. So when I cut it down, you know, I cut it down 4 7/8 this way, and this is what it left over. And then when I cut the bottom part to make, look, see how it's so frayed. Ugh. Anyway, it left this little piece, so maybe I'll use that to mat my sentiment with something from there. Did I already take the other one off? I've tried to stick things down before where I forgot to take the backing off. So that's always fun. Now, you could have cut your paper into something pretty, like a pretty shape, before you ran it through your embossing folder. That'd be nice, because then it would have a cool shape instead of just a plain old rectangle. But, you know. Okay, I'm looking at the top. I'm like on my tippy toes right now, trying to see how well that might be. Okay. Again, I never like to squish. I always squish from the back. Yeah, that's pretty. And then we just need a sentiment, and it'll probably be like in here somewhere, right? So, let me see what was in here. I don't know why I was taking everything and putting it to the side. Now I don't know where anything is. Let me grab, oh, here they are. Oh yeah, we also have little gems and ribbon. If you want to dress it up a little more. That would have been pretty to put a little ribbon around here too. And obviously if you want to do that, put it before you put this thing down. Let's see. Thank you, happy birthday, and thinking of you. Let's do thank you, because I have quite a few thank yous I need to send out still, so let's use that. I'm just trying to think. Ooh, I probably will stamp it. Okay, I went to clean off my stencils and I wet them. But what I'm gonna do is dry one up really well, hopefully. I'm gonna take my orange again and stamp the thank you and then put little stencil-y orange around it. I think that'd be cute. I'll be right back. Okay, I dried it. Hopefully it'll be dry enough. And I think what I'm gonna do is the same thing I did with the top. Let's do thank you. Let's stamp it in that deep, deep red. No, the brighter red. Actually, we can do it in both, because if we wanted to do like this red and then bring this other one in and roll it around on the edges, you can do something like that. I'm just barely touching the very edge. And it may or may not work. It may or may not take. We'll see. I don't know what I'm touching this at. And let's just say there, because I'm going to cut it down anyway. Ugh, of course. Let's turn it over and do that again. Alright, let's be a little more careful this time. So, da da da. And I'm not going to press it so hard. Da 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 here. Around here. And not press too hard. Where was that? On the H here, I mean. I'll clean that up just a little bit just to help us out with that. But let's not press too hard. Let's just do this. And alright, there we go. I'm going to put clear embossing powder on this and emboss it, and I'll be right back. I think it's cooled off enough. And I know it's a little bit crooked on here, so I'm going to try to eyeball that and make sure, you know, they're just dots. It's not the biggest deal, but I do want to make sure that they're kind of straight for when I do go to cut this, about there. And it's just such a small thing, I'm not going to hold it down. I'm just going to dip into that orange again. Yeah, let me see what we got. Yeah, good enough. Cute. Okay. What I'm going to do is, well, maybe I was just going to cut a strip of paper, but I mean, it'd be cute to have like an actual die that makes it cute, right? Let me see what I can find. You know what? All I can find right now is some rectangles. What's funny is these are the Diamond Press nesting rectangles, and then there's the scalloped ones that you would think coordinate, but again, I told you guys, if something is not exactly the same size, especially even squares or rectangles, they're not going to look right together, even though they're both rectangles, you know what I'm saying? Like the other ones are a little bit chubbier like this, so like the one that would go here is taller, but not as wide. So it's not going to work out. So I just use the two that are near each other in size, and I think that'll be nice. Oh, I don't need to waste that. I have plenty of tape stuck here. So I'm just going to run this through, again, eyeballing that it's straight, because like I said, I stamped it crooked on this paper. I'm going to do that. And too bad that one misses that little scrap, but we can use it on here, see? Alright, I will be right back. I'm just going to run these through the marquee. Alright, there we go. You see, even this is a big difference between the one and the other. But you know, it's what it is. Oh, okay. Let's see. Trying to see which glue I want to use. I can set up faster. And I'm going to put some dimensional adhesive, I think. Oh, you know, I'll just use 3D glue gel. And I never think to use like the gems or these things until later. So a lot of times I'll come back in the video and I'm like, oh, I added this or that. But I think... yeah. Trying to look at this. I feel like that's a lot of border. I am going to take my guillotine, well, not that guillotine, just a different cutter, and just cut a little bit off of this. I do want it to be thinner. I'll be right back. So I did it with my scissors and my eyeballs. I just went around and cut some off. It was just a little too much border, especially since there's such a little border around the card. And I'm usually not that picky, but I don't know. I guess I'm becoming a little more picky in my old age. Like I say, I don't look for perfection, as you all know. All right. Yeah, I think I'll just stick that down there. I'm just trying to see if there's something I should add on. I think a little ribbon would have been nice. But those embossing folders, gorgeous. I love it. They're really nice. And I'm just gonna put that on there. And there is a little note card with plenty of room inside to write your sentiment, which is really great. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, let me know if you picked yours up or what you're thinking. I know I said I'll probably keep it going to at least number 36, and then from there be more selective on which ones I pick up or, you know, look for, or however I get the boxes. But at the same time, I'm such a sucker for the boxes. I know. All right, the next one I have actually that just came in today, you guys saw, or came in yesterday, I guess, but I hauled it today, was the Christmas Compendium, and I am looking forward to that. I love it. What I saw, I love it, so I'm really excited to try it out, so hopefully it's a really good one. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're all having a great night, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.